We'll give that a second as it propagates out to the world, to the TVs, to the radio sets, to the phones, earpieces, iPods, AirPods, Android devices,
VHS devices.
Windows phones, Palm devices, Blackberries. It's going all over the world. New Dad Gaming, the #1 podcast on BlackBerry.
Yeah, I agree. Perfect.
If only. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But let's roll that into getting the show started. The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Summer of beer continues. It has been a delicious year so far. No real losers thus far, which has been great to see. And I was so excited for this one because one of our well, for a couple reasons I'll get into. But firstly, again, we have such a challenge in finding representation from other parts of the world because here in Canada and specifically Ontario, where we record, we're drowning in amazing craft beers. And the stores.
It's a real problem.
Yeah, it's woe is us.
Yeah.
But there's a strong desire to represent locally, so we're having trouble find it. I found this one. It's from United States, from Florida, and it is stunning.
Yeah?
I could not wait to record so I could drink another one. I was so excited. So this is Frostproof, Belgian style white from Cigar City Brewing, located down in Florida. Citrus spice and effervescence each share a place in the sunshine inside this Belgian style white ale brewed with orange peel, coriander, and wheat. So even better, I gotta find more from this brewery because besides just looking wonderful and liking how much this one tastes, they have a beer called Florida Man.
Hilarious. I love it. You need to get that one.
There's Florida Man and then Florida Man's Down Under.
They have
one
like
called
bath salts.
Jesus. Yeah. Bath salts and alligators. We got Fancy Papers, Margarita Goss, Guarabera, Maduro. It's just stunning. And Frostproof, like I said, has been... I think it's going to be my rotation. I really do like this for a summer beer. It's very good. Nice. So, yeah, and located down in Florida, so I was able to represent our good friends south of the border. So if you can find it, and I think anything... I've only tried Frostproof, but you get the sense from it that this brewery's doing something great. So nice. If you can find anything, I think, from Cigar City Brewing, go ahead and grab it. So, Jeff, what were you drinking this week?
Well, I think yours is Belgian style. Mine is from Belgium.
Hey, there we go.
Chimay Triple is what I'm drinking. It is 8%, so it is not a light one. Again, this is like par for the course, right?
Math doesn't quite work, but that's okay.
Yeah. But it says it's a strong blonde beer with fruity and spicy taste. You can definitely taste that. It's got a spicy kick to it by the bitterness and aroma of the hop. And the Trappist logo certifies that this beer is brewed in the Trappist Abbey and that the majority of sales is intended for social aid, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just, helping people out while drinking. So
you're just doing your part. And I appreciate that. It is interesting, too, because they sell cheese from the same brewery. So it's a brewery/cheese place. So, the thought that you could... It really makes me want to have some along with the beer.
Yeah, it's kind of it's one of these, short, stubby glass bottles. So it's nice ice cold, that's for sure, and easy to drink. It is a little on carbonated side, but it is a nice one. I wasn't too sure about this one, so yeah, Chimay Triple.
All right, so the hits keep coming. Now, shout out to good friend of the show, Matt, at Damat, SCC_DA_Matt. He gave us a recommendation. I haven't seen this yet. I really hope I do. We've got to get that beer tour through the States going.
That's right.
But Golden Road Brewing, Golden Road Brewing, Mango Cart, Mango Wheat Ale.
Yes.
That seems so much up my alley.
It does.
Given my penchant of fruits in an ale.
It's the Trevor beer for sure.
Yeah. So he says to us, if you like fruity beers for hot days, I hope you can track this one down. Also, Rogue is from my town here, so excited you could get it. And that was from my last week's pick of Rogue, which I also really liked. So very cool. Thank you so much, Matt, for sending that along. We had a couple other great shoutouts this week on our Twitter, and you can find us there at New Dad Gaming. Absolutely love to chat back and forth, and I don't know if it's just gaming dads in general being smart, witty, and funny, but
Of course
it's certainly a good lot. So we had posted a clip from a previous show where Jeff had the dad hack of having his sons, air quotes, help him
Yes.
play the video game.
Yes.
What was that game in particular, Jeff?
It was Horizon Forbidden West, right? And they were to help me by basically watching me.
It's such a hack because you are in the midst of this game. You want to get extra game time, and you love playing with your sons. But at this moment, you don't want to play with your sons. So it's like, why don't you help me
Right.
play this game by watching for secrets?
There you go. You gotta scour, just alert dad. When something goes down. Yeah. So dad hack. You're helping kids.
So I was going through some archives and had posted that particular clip, and then had some really funny reactions to it. So Jeff Ganak writes out to us, "I am old and so are my sons. If I cannot get past a certain area or challenge, then I beg them to complete it for me."
Wow.
Full circle. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver. Can you imagine, like you are struggling through some Elden Ring boss or some like crazy dungeon, and you bring your kids in as a ringer to help you instead of you helping them? That's amazing.
That is a gaming dad good upbringing, right? Like you're just that next gen. Come on, you got to help old dad out.
It's like on par when your son buys your first beer. No, Dad, let me buy the beer.
Let me beat this boss for you, Dad. You had a long day.
It's like, what is this, Mario 3? What are you doing, Dad?
Jeez.
Just can't find the sequel. Oh, yes, and then even better, I said how wonderful it's full circles. Like sometimes, if they get something out of it, they throw it back in my face. If I do it for you, you won't learn or get better.
Wow. Like, okay. That's...
How many years did they hold that one back?
Yeah.
Now another friend of the show, Martinez. So Martinez Mostly at Martinez Mostly writes to us, "I feel like that it's our son's cheat. He knows that he can get out of things, chores or bedtime, by showing me how far he is in games or what he's struggling with, and I'm invested in him growing as a gamer." So that is so true. I have to imagine your kids are the same way, but once they understand your triggers and your levers,
yes,
it's like, well, Dad, I could go do that, but I was hoping that you could help me play this game for a bit. And you're like, ooh, I want it. Darn you.
High level manipulation, right? I'm all for it. Okay, let me. We're good with it.
Yeah. And then he continues, and then comes the, maybe you can play a little since you're so good.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Okay.
Yeah, sure thing, son. So, hey, everybody, thank you for the shout-outs called, Matt for the beer pick, and the stories. Love to hear those. Again, if you can send those to us at New Dad Gaming, love to hear from you. So much fun. And to give a shout-out, there's a competition going. So, Mostly Martinez, his son actually has a gaming channel on YouTube. Yeah, that's awesome. That is fantastic. So he is running a competition, his first competition for the channel, trying to get some subscriptions, trying to get some comments and interaction for it. If you could go check it out, we'll leave the link in the show notes. But if you do look for it, so it's Hezekiah's Toys and Games. And again, we'll leave a comment in the show notes as well as put a tweet out if you want to follow it. But you simply subscribe to his channel, leave a comment, and you might win a controller of your choice. Yeah. So you're supporting the next generation of little gamers, which is amazing.
That's right. It could go a long way. Put the controller in your hands to the next gen, have them start learning.
And then when you need help when you're old, you'll be able to rely on them because they'll be in good hands.
Exactly. Yeah.
So definitely check it out. Check out the links that we post here. And good luck to all the winners for that one as well. Yeah. Now, the as far as winning and playing
Yeah.
games at an arcade, you had an interesting experience with your son at an arcade.
Yeah. So interesting. This is a funny word. Um, yeah. So it was my son's 12th birthday. We decided, okay, again, I am not for birthday parties in the house. Let's go outside, get them out. So we said that you can invite close friend circle, 4 or 5 kids, take you out to the arcade. Which had been a while since the pandemic. It's been my first time back in an arcade in a couple of years too, so I'm all excited to go. Right? It's like one of those things. Like, how about we go here so Dad can have some fun too. So out of all these arcade games, like you got your Terminator games, you got like Halo over here, you got Dance Dance Revolution over here, all tons of games, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, where'd they go? And I see them over at Minecraft Dungeons
Oh my lord!
arcade.
What? Why? Of all the things,
I
of
did
all
not
the cool
know,
stuff.
right? I did not know this existed at all. And when I walked up, I was just, are you kidding? It was one of those like, are you kidding me? Like hand on the shoulder, like on the hip, like, are you serious? Like, how does this exist? But they were all there, and it's like a 4-player game. Kind of like reminiscent of the old arcade games with the Ninja Turtles or
Like with
Simpsons or something.
Sticks and like the big sticky buttons.
Yeah, exactly. Right, all the goobers on them. And they're all having a blast. I'm like, okay, this is your comfort game. I get it. But all the other games, and they're just sitting there poking like not tokens, but like that credit card's going in and getting all those tokens out for them. And that's where they are. That's where the birthday was.
You have this at home.
Yeah,
You can play this for free in our house.
It's not as exhilarating if you don't have that continue screen, right? Where the timer just ticks down and you have to feed it more money.
God, that would be such a draw for kids. I can laugh and I could chuckle here, but 1,000%. If I took my kids to an arcade and there was a Minecraft machine, that is the first thing they go to, guarantee every time.
Oh, and it's located right near the front door, so they're not gonna miss it. So
they know what they're doing. They know what is the big draw.
Exactly, yeah. But it was just funny that like out of all games, Minecraft Dungeons. Oh, there they are.
My lord. So that kind of segues nice action to something I've gotten into, and it was a weird journey that ultimately ended up back at Diablo 3.
Oh, okay.
Of all things, a real, up and coming title.
Right, super modern.
Yeah, super hot new release.
Yeah.
So I have been playing Minecraft Dungeons with my kids and just got that itch for a dungeon crawler. And Minecraft Dungeons, wonderful game, lots of fun. Again, that's a new dad gaming recommendation for sure.
Yeah.
But it's dad's game time. I just want something a bit more meaty and something I can get into. But I had the worst journey getting there. And I don't know if you've had these moments as well, where it was a kind of existential crisis in some tiny way where it's, am I just too old for gaming? Do I not like games anymore? Because I tried to download Diablo 2, which I have on my console, but it was going to be like 60 gigs and it's going to take like 2 hours. I have like an hour to play. So it's like, oh, forget that. I downloaded Torchlight 2 and it dropped. And I was like, why? I remember Torchlight being very fun. It was very well styled. It's very interesting.
Right.
Why did I put this down? Loaded up, got back right to my save point, and it's like, oh yeah, this part was boring and I hated it. That's why I didn't play this. So jumped up out of that. And I just couldn't find any game to sink my teeth into. And it just more and more felt, you just got this like sinking feeling that maybe it's just me. Like maybe it's just, oh no, like I just don't really like games anymore as a pastime. Like have I kind of grown out of it?
That's now, it for the podcast. That's it.
Yeah.
That's over.
That was part of the thought is like, if I stop liking games, oh no, I have a podcast running. I'm going to have to fake it or something. Boy, Jeff, the PS6 looks great.
This is this solitaire game. Have you heard this?
But fortunately, Diablo 3 has really got its talons into me really liking it, having a great time with it. I don't know if I'll finish it because there tends to be a part of the game where it gets super grindy.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't have time for that as a dad, so we'll see how grindy it does in fact get. But have you come across that as a gaming dad where it's just you'll play some with your kids and it's just not particularly super interesting, and then it's your own personal time now, and it's like what am I doing? Like, what is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, absolutely. I had that the last kind of couple weeks where no games were really grabbing me, and we talk about backlogs and stuff, and I went through all those games that I have purchased and never completed, and nothing struck me, and it was just that weird feeling of, oh God, is hobby, like I would consider gaming a hobby or a like or a passion, just is this not hitting the same way anymore? And what does that mean? Or do I need to take a break? Or am I just gonna sit here and stare at the screen and wonder, what game is out there? So, yeah, I tried some kind of comfort games to see about kind of getting out of that funk, but really, I just wanted something that wasn't too complex. I think being through a lot of games that are just lots of story, lots of dialogue choices, I'm worried about like the best ending. All that stuff was kind of just with just how the summer's going and work and everything. It's just, I just need something that's just calming to me, right?
Yeah.
Like not too intricate. Let me just game.
You want to know one of the worst ones I jumped into to try to get over the funk? It's like, I tried to go back into Pillars of Eternity.
Oh my God.
I was so confused at the menu. And then
Yeah.
all the dialogue, I was like, what is happening? Like, is this gaming?
Yeah.
Am I confused?
It's so funny. It's so funny that we're so much alike because I jumped into Pathfinder Kingmaker, which is essentially it's Dungeons and Dragons, like Pillars of Eternity stuff.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you're like, why am I here?
What am I doing with myself?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah, I tried, like during my quest, I tried Shadowlands. Which
Okay.
I've always looked at. Like the artwork looks so cool. It was so well acclaimed. The writing was great. Like it was snappy. The story was interesting and everything. And it even has. It was almost like a walk around simulator because it has a very easy mode.
Right.
So even that I was kind of able to just kind of like coast into and not really worry too much about it. But it has like the XCOM turn-based battle system.
Right. Okay.
And that just kind of threw me off. I'm like, I don't care. And then it's just all the inventory management. Eventually you have 6 team members and you have to like place everything properly and like, oh, is this stronger than this on this, like my 4th guy? Okay, now I'll go to my 5th guy. Is this strong? It's just, that's tedium. You know what I mean?
Lot.
Also,
Yeah.
you mentioned comfort games. I think one thing I have found that helps in those funks is for me going back to some sports games. So I'll do a round of NHL. I'll do like a boxing game. I'll do like a skateboarding game. Something about, because like, very much like you said, like it's just there's no story to it.
Yeah.
There's no inventory management. there's no there's no macros and like optimization. It's just dude in skateboard, fall off, tee go do a grind.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
Right. Exactly. Right. And you just get up and try again. Yeah, and that's good. I think that's good advice. I also think that there's maybe space for just watching somebody else play. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm interested in a game, but maybe just watching somebody else just figure out what the hell to do, because I don't have the brain space for it, and I know I want to play it, but I never will. Like some of these games, you could live on for a couple years and just find the ins and outs of them, right? So it's like, I think I'm going to turn to Twitch now and start like, I'll catch a couple episodes of whoever streaming and see if I like it just to watch the game play out and just live my life through them.
When you're in that funk, how does it affect how you play games with your kids? Because are your kids still at the phase, are they asking you to play games with them constantly? Or are they mostly looking to do game time solo?
So they're in a phase where they want me to watch them play. So, at the top of the show...
Dad, be my Twitch streamer. Let's go.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's come full circle. Right? At the top of the show, it was like, hey, kids, come help Dad. Now they just want to watch, Dad, come watch me play Spider-Man, right? Because I can get all the trophies now. And I'm like, okay. So I'll go there and watch them.
Are you watching?
And be on my phone out on our Twitter or something, answering some questions. But yeah, I'll be with them because I know what it is like to have that audience, right? But they are asking me to watch them versus play with them.
Because mine are still in... I think for me it helps a bit because right now they're still very much in the playing phase. They want me to play with them. They could care less for me to be there so much as like... No, although they they have interrupted multiple meetings
Oh no.
because I work in the basement and the gaming system is in the basement. So
Yeah.
when they get a really cool new skin in Minecraft, they like bust through the door. And I'm talking about projections for like the next quarter, and they're like, "Dad, the Netherworld that has a skin." I'm like, "Okay, son, I'm in a meeting, son. Okay, I'm in a."
It'd be funny on the other end. Like, hold on, no, I want to hear about this.
No, wait, just let the boy speak. I've had a hard time finding that gem.
Yeah. What did they do?
Yes. Great. So that happens all the time. They want to show me what they've achieved or done or what they've built if they're doing like a huge thing in Minecraft or it is playing. Their two biggest things being what is it? Gang beasts.
Oh yeah.
They're still all about gang beasts. They just love it and they want me to play with them on that all the time and Minecraft Dungeons.
Okay.
So it's interesting. It's almost like their joy gives me the energy to be in that moment and enjoy and appreciate it.
Yep.
Because so even if I was having trouble on myself, like I can't on my own time seem to really get into a flow of gaming. Like just seeing how like jazzed they are about it and how much joy it is like us interacting together is giving them brings me past that hump and we're able to like play and have a good time.
Yeah. Again, like when is your gaming time anyway? So like your solo gaming time is probably end of the night.
Yeah.
And like being through the entire day of projections and Minecraft skins. I mean, you're probably worn out and you don't want to go to bed because I have that resistance of like, no, if I turn in, the day is over. The day is won. I need to resist. It's like your own little gaming experience. Like, no.
I've had no me time. I will not succumb to sleep.
Exactly. So I usually try to like, hey, let's have some my own entertainment. But yeah, I'm just looking at base games, just not overly complex and not the stuff that I would normally, I guess, play. At least a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the comfort game, I think that's a good tip for gaming dads, just to, if you find yourself in a funk, which is going to happen because you are tired, you have a lot of responsibilities, you're gaming with your kids, probably not playing necessarily the games you want to play.
Yeah.
And then it comes time for your own personal one, you're beat. And all of a sudden it becomes a question of, oh no, do I even like games anymore? And I don't think that's really it. So your suggestion of comfort games, I think, is actually really prudent, where it's don't worry about what you have to beat or the latest new thing. What do you want to play?
Right.
And for me, in this case, that was Diablo 3, which is awesome. Like I cannot wait I'll probably play it a bit tonight before I go to bed after editing this podcast. And in the past has been sports games. It's been, like Demon Forged, I think it's called. Like it's just like this dumb like PS2 or 360 era game where like you have a huge axe guy and like a bow and arrow person. Totally flew under the radar, but I just love going back to that game. So I think revisiting like those old titles that kind of spur you back into it and not to worry about it so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great dad tip. And I'm sure it happens to a lot of us. You're just staring at it and you're like, why don't I like any games right now?
All right, so if you have your own story of gaming dad story about just kind of falling out with gaming for a little while or being rekindled from your kids, or if you have a comfort game you would suggest to gaming dads that you revisit when you're a bit of a gaming funk, reach out to us. You can find us at newdadgaming.com or our Twitter at newdadgaming. Another thing you should do while you are there would be to congratulate Jeff on the monumental achievement as a gaming dad of beating Elden Ring. Yes. Unbelievable. I didn't think you could do it. I had no faith.
You had no faith in me, eh?
Nah, I know you'd do it. I kind of expected it to take, I thought it'd be like your new Witcher.
Yes.
Where it's like sometime mid to late next year, you'd finally roll through it. So the speed at which you beat it this time is a bit surprising to me. So yeah, like what was the experience? Like what's your, when you reflect back on it now, how did it go?
So this kind of like links in with our previous conversation of just like being in a gaming funk, right? Because I spent so much time with this game, and there's so much death and lore.
There's so much unnecessary punishment. It's terrible.
Yeah, so like when you finally accomplish and like beat this thing of like epic proportions. Like I was coming down from that. I was just like, what do I do now? Like this is just like it was a huge chunk of my life. I played this like all the time, and now what? But this game like really grabbed me, and I know I talk a little bit about Souls games. I kind of get into them, but then they kind of like fizzle out down the line. You know, no fault of the game. It's just dad responsibilities. But this was just something that was a little easier to get into, and my kids helped me a lot during it. They wanted to see me play it, and actually what was a funny thing is that I beat this game not knowing that it was the ending, and I was doing some gaming during night while the kids were asleep.
Oh
And I beat it.
Oh no.
And I saw like these games don't really have cutscenes, right? So and when there is a cutscene, it's either the intro or the ending. And when I saw the CG cutscene come up, I'm like, oh no.
What have I done? Kids, wake up.
Yeah. So it was like a moment of like, the celebratory, like I did it, and then panic, like, oh my god, I did it with all my kids. They're gonna want to see it.
They're gonna be so bad.
I did record it, and with a PS4, PS5, you can have the hot mic on, right? So it captured all my screams of joy and everything, and all my struggles through it. But they did see the ending just in a recorded format. They did like that. They would have liked to be. They would have liked me to go up there and actually wake them up. Wasn't gonna do that at like midnight. So, no, it was a great time, and I love this game. I will probably go through it again a little bit. It might be a comfort game in the end. Like, I know there's a lot of death and challenge, but I now know the ins and outs of it, right? So it's just like one of those things I might fall back into and just kind of go through and have fun.
That's
summon
amazing.
me out. I can do it all now. You can summon me in your game. I can help. I can help.
Let Jeff solo her.
Yeah, exactly.
That's phenomenal. That's a cool tip too, though. Like as far as like the recording, if there's ever a moment you want to show your kid, like that ability to like quick snap, it goes back like 30 seconds, 60 minutes, or I don't know what the actual timeline of 60 minutes.
It's a couple minutes all the way to 60 minutes if you wanted to.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So you can do quite a bit of length depending on your space. But yeah, and it captures all your audio if you want it to through the controller. So
That's a cool save. So be able to like,
relive
still bring your kids into it, but like
that's right.
God, the emotions going through your head of like, hooray, I finally did it. Oh no, the kids.
I
They're
mean,
gonna be so mad.
and I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, right? Like it's been quite a journey on this one, and it's 60, 80 hours in this thing, probably 80. And so the kids probably want to see the ending, I would assume. But now they have like my whole like get up for like, you need to try this character class now. I'm like, okay, hold on. Daddy just needs to just chill out. And that's where I'm kind of like in that space of like, all right, I'm just coming down from this high. Let me just kind of be for a bit.
Let me just revel in this
Yes.
moment.
Yes.
And then before we throw ourselves back into the horror of this game
right.
and this difficulty.
Yeah. It's funny how we both chose like basically games in hell though. You're like Diablo 3 and Elden Ring, what's Apocalypse, right? We're not Sunshine and Rainbows. No one chose Katamari Damacy or anything,
we better start playing Kirby or something just to like
I think so.
just bring some sunshine here, please.
Yeah.
So predictable. All right, everybody. And with that note, we will end it for the week. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to everybody who reached out this week with comments or the Matt for the beer suggestion. Of course, there was the mostly Martin for the and his son's gaming channel. Again, there'll be links to that. Thanks so much. Like the interaction is one of the absolute best parts. If you'd like to interact with us, you can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com, or on our Twitter at newdadgaming. Love to hear from everybody else. If you like the podcast, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks. So we're talking iTunes, Google Play, Caster, Spotify, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. What really, really helps us, and we'd ask if you could help us out by subscribing, and even better would be leaving a rating and a review. That really helps boost the signal to other gaming dads and gets the word out there. Even further to that, if you can share it on social, get the word out there as we try to bring together as many gaming dads as possible, collect our stories, collect our tips for how we're possibly going to survive as the kids get older and supplant us as the gamers of the house. But until that time, we remain the gaming dads, and thus this show exists. We'll see where we get to. And everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. And just remember, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over. Even if you're in a funk.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. See you next week.
See you later.